For decades, experts have warned that a large swath of the central U.S. is at risk for a devastating earthquake produced from the new Madrid Fault Line. The St. Louis region has 2 seismic zones, including the New Madrid, which caused a series of major earthquakes about 200 years ago. 3 magnitude 7.5 to 7.7 earthquakes rang church bells as far away as South Carolina and briefly caused the Mississippi River to flow backward. And experts say there's up to a 10% chance a major earthquake could happen again within the next 50 years.
Scientists say, every day that we're closer to an earthquake, but they can't plan for when that date is.
As the emergency management coordinator for the Missouri Department of Transportation, Michael White is all about being prepared. And this is for the hundreds of emergency managers, transportation leaders, and others dedicated to earthquake preparedness.
Helping the response community better prepare for a New Madrid earthquake event.
According to FEMA, a magnitude 7.7 earthquake in the New Madrid zone could displace nearly 850,000 people in up to 8 states, including people in the St. Louis area.
You look at electricity, power, we have injuries and the hospitals are impacted. We may have 250 to 350,000 evacuees.
So MoDOT launched a first of its kind, a study focused on forming evacuation routes in the St. Louis area in the event of a major earthquake. This is accomplished by partnering with the University of Missouri, as St. Louis is considered a challenging location.
The number of river crossings and how much traffic those roadways carry, I-70, the 270s, and all of those corridors. So that's a big challenge. The other is the proximity to the Wabash seismic zone, in addition to the New Madrid. And some of the buildings are historic and they may not have been designed to the current standards.
Praveen Idra, MU professor and chair of Civil and Environmental Engineering, is the lead investigator of the study. Funding from MoDOT will provide software for the Mizzou engineers to see how roads, bridges, and other infrastructure might be impacted by a major earthquake. They will use shake-cast data from the U.S. Geological Survey to build simulation models to evaluate various roads and bridges in the event of a large earthquake.
We request data for varying severity levels, starting from a 5.0 magnitude to all the way to 7. We do look at how do we load the demand. Is everyone leaving right away, or is 20% leaving in the first few hours, then the remaining 20%, and so on?
They also expect emergency aid would be cut off.
Identify alternative routes and how best to move people in and out.
The project involves several steps over a 2-year period. The research team completed the first step, a survey of St. Louis area residents, asking them which routes they would take to evacuate.
Primarily saying that they'll stick with the interstates. So the I-70s, 270, 55, and the major interstate system.
The research team will assess bridge structures along those routes using National Bridge Inventory data that will be added to the data from different pieces of the project.
Combined into a network model or a traffic simulation model that routes evacuees.
Looking at the engineering and upgrades for the bridges. I think one key planning piece for us is accessibility across state lines, probably planning that those bridges are impacted. So we're really planning to bring everybody to the west. Kansas City and Springfield will be key reception centers for evacuees.
There's been a lot of progress made in transportation engineering. These models wouldn't have been possible maybe 15, 20 years ago. So all the computational advances is what makes it easier today to even think of assigning such high traffic volumes and come up with reasonable estimates of how the road network will look like under different earthquake scenarios.